aliens, Atlantis, Ascension. All three are intimately connected, and they were all known, and there is a string that binds them together. Let's look at the obvious first. What does the Bible say about Enoch? Genesis. And Jared lived 162 years, and he begat Enoch. Jared lived after he begat Enoch 800 years, and begat sons and daughters. And all of the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 65 years, and he begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years, and he begat sons and daughters. And all of the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Hebrews. By faith Enoch was taken from this life, so he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. Jude 1. They are wild waves of the sea, foaming up their shame, wandering stars, for whom blackest darkness had been reserved forever. Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about these men. See, the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones, to judge everyone and convict all the ungodly of all ungodly acts that they have done in the ungodly way, and of all harsh words ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Two things come to my mind pretty much right away. Not much about this guy was written in the Bible. Number two, what obviously commands attention is one of the greatest mysteries in the Bible. What happened to Enoch? And God took him? Not only that, he didn't die. But don't fundamentalist Christians like to bandy about the quote, "It is given only once to die, and then second death," when arguing against reincarnation? Oh, so this is another convenient exception. Well, what happened to him? Is there somebody else in history who left this planet in a resurrected body? Could the phenomenon of ascending back to God not be exclusive ability and purpose of one man? One of the so-called lost books of the Bible, called the Book of Jasher, which I definitely say you should read if you're interested in this kind of stuff, it does offer a little clue. The Old Testament even mentions Jasher twice, giving it some legitimacy if you need the Bible to say it. The Old Testament refers to the book of Jasher, Joshua, and in Samuel. Is this not written in the book of Jasher? Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher. So apparently, someone thought this was a big deal. Now apparently, the book of Jasher could have been inserted in the place of the book of Genesis, since much of it overlaps, including the story of Adam and Eve. In some ways, the book of Jasher is way more complete and interesting, and perhaps well written. There is much more in Enoch. If the goal of life, which it pretty much alludes to here, is to break the wheel of reincarnation to ascend back to God, which is why I say this is what we're supposed to do. Our goal here is to beat death. I didn't get this just from skyhooks. I got it from pretty much every ancient book, but not the ones we're usually allowed to read. Anyway, the ascending back to God or the source or whatever you want to call that the great void, if you like. Is that not reason enough for those who have tampered with the Bible to leave out the book of Jasher, that it actually says what we're supposed to frickin' do here? Why? Because it mentions the Ascension 5 times. There are excerpts from the book of Jasher which reference Enoch, and you can buy the book or get it online. Just look it up. Now, the book of Jasher and an excerpt on Enoch, which I think is pretty darn cool. And Enoch lived 65 years, and he begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God after having begot Methuselah. And he served the Lord, and despised the evil ways of men. And the soul of Enoch was wrapped up in the instrument of the Lord, in knowledge and in understanding, and he wisely retired from the sons of men, and secreted himself from them for many days. She says to herself. And it was at the expiration of many years, whilst he was serving the Lord, because apparently him and the Lord were just hanging out and praying before him in his house, that an angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, "Here I am." That's what it says. Perhaps that's what happened over in Jerusalem, where, they're just getting buzzed over now. UFOs all over the place saying, "Hey, remember me?" Anyway. And he said, "Rise, go forth from thy house, and from their place where thou dost hide yourself, and appear to the sons of men, in order that thou must teach them the way in which they should go, and the work that they must accomplish, to enter the ways of God." And Enoch rose up, according to the word of the Lord, and went forth from his house, from his place, and from the chamber in which he was concealed. And he went to the sons of men, and taught them the ways of the Lord, and at that time assembled the sons of men, and acquainted them with the instructions of the Lord. And he ordered it to be proclaimed in all places where the sons of men dwelt, saying, "Where is the man who wishes to know the ways of the Lord and good works? Let him come to Enoch." And all the sons of men then assembled to him, for all who desired this thing went to Enoch. And Enoch reigned over the sons of men according to the word of the Lord. And they came and bowed to him, and they heard his word. And the Spirit of God was upon Enoch, and he taught all his men the wisdom of God and his ways. And the sons of men served the Lord all the days of Enoch, and they came to hear his wisdom. And all the kings of the sons of men, both first and last, together with their princes and judges, came to Enoch, when they heard of his wisdom, and they bowed to him. And they also required of Enoch to reign over them, to which he consented. And they assembled in all 130 kings and princes, and they made Enoch king over them, and they all were under his power and his command. And Enoch taught them wisdom, knowledge, the ways of the Lord, and made peace amongst them, and peace was throughout the entire earth during the life of Enoch. They say earth, and I haven't found another translation of it. And Enoch reigned over the sons of men 243 years, and he did justice and righteousness with all the peoples, and led them in the ways of the Lord. And these were the generations of Enoch, Methuselah, Elisha, Elimelech, 3 sons, and their sisters were Melika and Naamah, and Methuselah lived 87 years, and he begat Lamech. And it was in the 56th year of the life of Lamech when Adam died. 930 years old was he at his death. And his 2 sons, with Enoch and Methuselah his son, buried him with great pomp, as the burial of kings, in the cave which God told him. And in the place of all the sons of men made a great mourning and weeping on account of Adam. It was therefore before a custom amongst the sons of men that continued to this day. And Adam died because he ate of the tree of knowledge, he and his children after him, as the Lord had spoken. And it was in the year of Adam's death, which was 243rd year of the reign of Enoch, which the time Enoch resolved to separate himself from the sons of men, and to secret himself in order to serve the Lord. And Enoch did so, but not entirely secret himself from them, but kept away from the sons of men 3 days, and went to them for 1 day. And during the 3 days that he was in the chamber, he prayed, and praised the Lord his God. And the day on which he went and appeared to his subjects, he taught them the ways of the Lord. And they all asked him about the Lord. He told them. He did this in this manner for many years, and afterwards concealed himself for 6 days, and appeared to his people 1 day in 7, and after once in a month, then after once in a year, until all the kings and all the princes and all the sons of men sought for him, desired again to see the face of Enoch, to hear his word, but they could not, as all the sons of men were greatly afraid of Enoch, and they feared to approach him on account of his godlike awe that was seated upon him, and his countenance. Therefore no man could look on him, fearing he might be punished and die. And all the kings and all the princes resolved to assemble the sons of men to come to Enoch, thinking that they would all speak to him at the time that he would come forth amongst them. And they did so. And the day came when Enoch came forth. They assembled and came to him, and Enoch spoke to them the words of the Lord, taught them the wisdom and the knowledge, and they bowed before him. And they said, May the king live. May the king live. And then some time after, when the kings and the princes and the sons of men were speaking to Enoch, and Enoch was teaching them the ways of God, behold, an angel of the Lord, who came and called upon Enoch from heaven, and wished to bring him up to heaven to make him reign over the sons of God, as he had reigned over the sons of men on earth. So 2 different groups here. When at that time Enoch heard this, he went and assembled all the inhabitants of earth. He taught them wisdom and knowledge, and gave them divine instructions. And he said to them, I have been required to ascend to heaven, and therefore do not know the day of my going. And therefore I will teach you wisdom and knowledge, and will give you instruction before I leave you, how to act upon the earth, whereby you may live. And he did so. And he taught them wisdom and knowledge, gave them instruction, and reproved them, and placed before them statutes and judgments to do upon the earth. And he made peace amongst them, and taught them everlasting life, and dwelt with them some time, teaching them of all of these things. And at the time the sons of men were with Enoch, and Enoch was speaking to them, and he lifted up their eyes, and the likeness of a great horse descended from heaven, and a horse paced in the air.